Before now.
All right, my friends, let's see.
This is being in a balance mode and you're watching a mosquito just feed
All right.
on you. Please go away.
Okay, is that good? Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Hello. Hello, world. Oh, it's so cold. Oh, you're getting a little bit of sun. So I have 2 new sheets. Well, Luba's not new. Batman, no Robin. So I guess maybe I'm not Batman when Robin's not here. I have the Bread Queen over here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Do we have a nickname for you?
Red King?
So I have the bread and the bread queen and the king, apparently. Oh, that's interesting. All right, you guys. Thursday lunch break. 50-50. A little half low, half yin. The weather report is quite amazing today here in Florida. It's actually cooler. It's actually a smidgen cooler than it needs to be, which is interesting for May because it's already May 7th or something. It's crazy. May 7th. Alright, so the same playlist as we have been using all week. If you have your music handy, it's the Walk With Me playlist from May 2nd. And I'm gonna start it now. 3, 2, 1, now. Just take a moment. Sits bones connect to the mat. Whatever position you choose to start in, seated, child's pose, maybe even on your back if that feels appropriate. Allowing the body and the mind to arrive on the mat. Taking a moment to settle in. Sits bones connected to the mat or your shins if you happen to be on your knees. Engagement through the midsection, through the core. Broad through the collarbones, chin tucked in slightly, crown of the head reaching up, sitting nice and tall. Take a moment to watch your breath. And just notice, what are you bringing in onto the mat today? What do you need to let go of, or what do you need to tend to? Taking the next 60 minutes or so to move your body, breathe, check in with yourself, maybe settle into whatever is. Big breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top, sip in a little more. Out of your mouth, let it go. Again, just like that, big breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top, sip in a little more. Out of your mouth, let it go. Seal your lips, find your ujjayi. Notice how it shifts from your natural breath into a labored breath, into a breath that's warming you up from inside, that the one that you have to work on a little bit. And just roll the head around. Maybe drop it side to side, inviting some movement into the body. Perhaps the shoulders roll as well. And paying close attention to what kind of body you're bringing onto the mat. Maybe leaning in to a twist if that feels good, whichever way you decide to go about it. And just a little stretching, following your body's lead. Eventually you find your way onto your hands and knees, finding your tabletop. Roll forward and backward, stretch long through the arms, chin into the chest, hug the chest in nice and tight. Push the spine up, round a lot. Maybe shift slightly back as if you're going to child's, but not quite. Keep the engagement through the arms and through the back. And then back to front, the shoulders past the wrist line. Notice how the wrist feels over here. If that doesn't work, adjust the hands. And finding a neutral, shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Take your right foot and step it out. Keep the toes stuck, just push back through the heel first, stretching through the Achilles. And then when you're ready, lift the heel up, about hip height, not higher than that. Notice if your right hip open up, draw it back down, and pull the femur slightly in towards the hip, pulling the navel up against the spine, keeping your low back nice and supported. Perhaps the left arm reaches straight forward. Now you don't have to do it, you don't have to add it. Just hold over there. Notice what the shoulders doing, crown of the head reaching forward. Notice the belly and the low back. Fire up the right glute, strong through the back heel. Another breath in here. Exhale back down onto the mat, hand and knee. Drop your belly down. Exhale, round, chin into the chest, push the mat away, eyes of the elbow, roll forward. And one more cycle to even out, recenter. Belly down for cow, and then rounding for cat. Finding a neutral again. Notice the space around your neck. Can you pull the crown of the head forward to get a little extra space around your neck? Step your left foot out, tuck the toes, push back through the heels. Notice if you can pull the belly in here already. Sometimes having the support in the back foot helps to connect with your core muscles. And then whenever you're ready, keeping the core engaged, pushing against your low back, you lift your left heel up. Now notice if that immediately releases the engagement through your core. Keep drawing the left hip down. Keep pulling the left femur in towards the hip socket, squeezing the left glute. Still pushing up through the arms, active through the biceps. Right arm adds into the mix, reaching forward maybe. Thumb is up as if you're trying to shake somebody's hand. Can you maintain the space around your neck? Can you keep reaching the crown of the head forward? Do not shrug the elbows in towards the ears here. Are you breathing? Anybody breathing here?
Yep.
Okay. Another inhale. Exhale, release, knee and hand down onto the mat. One more set of cat-cow again. Drop the belly down. Exhale, round. Push the mat away. Find some space through the shoulders as you protract. And then one more cycle. And down. Finding a neutral eventually whenever you're ready. Tuck the toes, lift the hips back, downward facing dog. And take a moment to, what's the word I'm looking for? Analyze your down dog a little bit. Long through the fingers, long through the arms. Fire up the armpits. Roll the shoulders forward and up. As as if you were holding a beach ball above your head even though you're inverted. The meaty part of the thumb and the pointer finger are heavily connected onto the mat. The full circle of the palm is also. Heavy in the heels, there's this quality tilt at the waist, at the hip flexors too. So just notice how this feels. Find your breath. Inhale high on the tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, hips go way down towards your heels. Look forward. Shoulders start shifting forward over your wrists. You find your way to plank. Inhale here into a plank. Find your knees are not forward, elbows in, lower halfway down. Inhale through your back, bend your heart comes through, shoulders back and down. Roll over your feet, downward facing dog. Weight shifts into the legs. Again, high on the tippy toes, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, low ribs come towards the thighs. Start shifting forward, shoulders move over the wrists. Fire up your quads. More so forward, halfway down is your exhale. Inhale through your back bend. Heart comes through. Crown of the head reaches, roll over your feet, downward facing dog. Shift your weight back. One more just like that. Tippy toes, inhale. Bend your knees. Start shifting forward, find your way to plank. Pause there. Inhale here. Halfway down, exhale. Inhale through your up dog. Roll over your feet, downward facing dog. Working from home, you do hear my kid in the background yelling.
Go, go, go.
I don't know what is he yelling about, but I am gonna certainly tell him. Wow. That's what happens. Quarantine. Inhale here. Out of your mouth, let it go. Another breath in. Out of your mouth, let it go. Ooh, right leg lift, up and back long. Right knee, right tricep, tap. Shift the shoulders over the wrists. Scoot it back, three-legged dog. Cross it under, right to left. Make a connection. Scoot it back, three-legged dog. Step your right foot all the way in. Left leg lift, standing splits. Inhale here. Your right knee bends, control, step back, warrior two legs. Inhale up to warrior two. Stay for exhale. Up and over, lift your right side up towards the sky. Extended side angle with your exhale. Keep moving with your breath up and over. We're in the flow part. Extended side angle. Again, left arm reaches over your head. Back to reverse one more time. Half moon, right knee bends, right arm finds the floor. Left leg stacks up. Stack the hips, stack the shoulders. Pressure breath through the back heel. Big inhale here. Right knee bends again, control, step back all the way to warrior two again. Straighten your right leg. Even out the hips, up and over, reverse triangle, lift nice and tall through the sky. Arms go to a T. Reach, reach, reach. Trikonasana coming down. Inhale here. Exhale, stay. Another inhale. Look down for balance, right knee bends. Up and over, reverse. Arms go down, left leg lift, standing splits. Inhale here. 10 toes on the mat, exhale. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant your hands, Bakasana, crow pose. Take a moment, few breaths here. Inhale and an exhale. Another inhale. Shoot your legs back all the way onto the ground. Inhale through your back bend. Roll over your feet, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Out of your mouth, let it go. Another breath in. Out of your mouth, let it go. Left leg lifts up and back, long. Pull it in length through the left thigh. Left knee, left tricep, tap. Make a connection, shoulders move over the wrist. Scoot it back, three-legged. Cross it under, left to right. Again, make a connection. Keep a square between your chest and the floor. Scoot it back, three-legged. Step your left leg all the way in. That's an exhale. Fire up your right glute. Right leg lift. Standing splits. Inhale here. Exhale, left knee bent. Control. Long step back. Dial your right heel down. Inhale to warrior two. Stay for exhale. Up and over. Reverse lift your left side up. Stay deep in the legs. Extended side angle. Hug the left hip under. Belly tight. Keep moving back to reverse again with your breath up and over. Extended side angle one more time. All the way to reverse, fluid motion. Half moon, left arm finds the floor. The right leg becomes light. Stack the hips, stack the shoulders, unfurl. Light on the bottom arm, the left toes are tracking directly forward. Big breath in. Left knee bends, control, step back, warrior two again. Straighten your left leg, left arm reaches up. Notice the neutrality through your hips. Arms go apart to a T. The right hip sasses back. Reach, reach, reach. Trikonasana. Come down. Stay engaged through the left side of your body. The left hip hugging under, right quad nice and tight. Keep the breath going. Look down for balance. Left knee bends up and over, all the way back. Lift, lengthen through the left side. Windmill your arms down. Right leg lift. Standing splits. 10 toes on the mat is an exhale. Another Bakasana. If you don't like to go there, just take a chair pose instead. Or a squat would do too, but chair pose would be better. Step or float whenever you're ready. Inhale through your back bend. Roll over your feet, downward facing. Inhale here. Alex is already on the sound, so is Luba. I'm not. I got the best spot on everybody. Inhale here. Out of your mouth, let it go. Again, assess your down dog. Adjust, notice all those little things that you're doing with your shoulders, with lengthening through your arms. Maybe notice the knees, what's happening. Maybe even pigeon toe the heels just slightly so they disappear behind your toes. Notice how much weight you can shift. Also imagine you want to float your hands off the mat. They're just there to protect you from falling onto your face, but the weight is really, really shifting into the legs. And we move. Right leg inhales up and back. Right knee, right tricep, tab, make a connection. Scoot it back, three-legged dog. Again, right knee, right tricep, tap. Side plank off to your right, open in. So whatever you want to do with the top leg, whether you keep it hanging up or stack the feet or use it in the back as a supported side plank, is all good. Right arm finds the mat, right to right, tap again. Scoot it back, three-legged dog. Now cross it under, right to left. Make a connection, keep the foundation of your arms through the mat, scoot it back, three-legged. One more time, right to left. Extend your right leg under, left arm comes up. Again, however you want to go about this one, whether you want to keep the leg in or extend it out or even drag it all the way forward, is up to you. Left arm finds the mat, three-legged dog, scoot it back. Step your right foot all the way in. Left leg lift, standing splits. Inhale here. Right knee bent, control, step back, warrior two legs. Inhale inhale to warrior two. Stay for exhale. Up and over, reverse. To extended side angle, depth through the legs. Keep the right hip tucked under. Again, up and over, belly in, lifting through the right side. Extended side angle, reach over. Back to warrior two, straighten your, no, still there. All the way, and then half moon first. Left leg lift, stack the hips, stack the shoulders. If you'd like to reach for the back leg this time, you can certainly do that. Release the foot if you have it. Right knee bends, control, step back. Warrior two, straighten your right leg up and over. Reverse triangle, hips are in neutral here. Arms go to a T now, the left hip is back. Reach, Trikonasana, coming down. Finding a stack position of your shoulders over the ankle, the right hip still hugging under. Thighs scissoring towards each other, active through the left leg, left quad. Look down for balance, right knee bends, up and over, reverse. Standing splits is where we meet. Arms go down, left leg lifts, listen up. Left knee comes into the chest, you come all the way to standing. Arms reach up over the head, knee is in. Fire up your left heel, warrior three, airplane arms, take it back. And again, left knee comes into the chest, you come all the way up, arms reach, pull it in. Warrior three, to stay. Engaging through the left heel, push the left hip down. Pull the navel in, up against the spine, shoulder blades gently pulling in. Keep your hands as they are, right knee bends, control, step back, arms rise, high crescent. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, prayer twist off to your right. If you need to find the back knee, go ahead. Otherwise, just stay where you are. Noticing, hopefully you didn't have a big lunch yet. Hopefully your lunch actually comes after this. Inhale, back to center, arms rise, high crescent. Back to standing split, arms go down, left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, 10 toes on the mat. Again, you have option, crow pose, handstand, or Utkatasana. Taking a 2 to 3 breath cycles here before you float it back through your vinyasa. How long we're gonna hold? Downward facing dog. Inhale here. Out of your mouth, let it go. Another breath in. Out of your mouth, let it go. Left leg lifts up and back, long. Left knee, left tricep, tap, shoulders over the wrist, active. Scooted back, three-legged. Again, left to left, tap. Into side plank to your left, left arm comes up. And however you want to go about it is fine, this is all yours. Just kind of leaning into whatever space happens to show up. Left arm finds the mat, left to left, tab, make a connection, engage through the chest. Scoot it back, three-legged dog. Cross it under, left to right, maintain the structure of your chest towards the ground. Scoot it back, three-legged. Again, left to left, extending the leg or keeping the left knee in, either way, right arm comes up. Right arm finds the mat, pull it all in together, lift the hips, three-legged dog, extend it long. Step your left foot in, that's an exhale, right leg lift, standing splits, that's an inhale. Left knee bends, control, long, step back, dial your right heel down. Open up to warrior two. Stay for exhale, inhale, up and over, reverse, left. Exhale, extended side angle, depth through your legs. Back to reverse again, focus on the rib cage opening and lifting. Extended side angle, crown of the head reaches long. Back to reverse, all the way, one more time. Open fan out the left ribs. Half moon as you shift your weight forward. Left hand plants. Stack the hips, stack the shoulders. Mindful of the left toes going directly forward. Stacking the hips, lifting up. Breathe. If you added Chapasana on the other side, go ahead here too. Notice if you can stretch through the right quad here. Release the foot if you have it. Left knee bends, control, step back, warrior two, straighten your left leg, up and over. Keep your hips in neutral, thighs scissoring towards each other. Pull them in, arms go to a T. Right hip sasses back. Reach, reach, reach. Trikonasana coming down. And again, notice, adjust the posture as you arrive. The left hip hugging, thighs towards each other. Right quad tight. Pressure outer edge of your back foot. Right arm lifting you up, stretching through the right side. But left obliques also engaged. Lots going on here. Crown of the head reaching forward actively. Left knee bends, look down for balance. Up and over, reverse. Arms go down, standing splits. Right leg lifts, inhale. Bring your right knee into the chest. Coming all the way down, inhale, arms reach up over your head. Fire up your right heel. Warrior three is your exhale. Arms go alongside your body. Pull the fingertips back along with the heel. Back into center, knee in, arms reach up, standing, lift, chest. One more time, warrior three. Find your posture, stay. Right hip dropping down, belly inflating the low back. Crown of the head reaches actively forward. Shoulder blades in towards each other. A little bit of a lift through the chest. Maybe the standing leg is a little bent. Left knee bends, take a step back, arms rise over the head, high crescent. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen, lean in, find space through the spine. Exhale, twist off to your left. And again, if you need to find the back knee, go ahead. Notice what needs to happen in order for you to be able to go in. Zoom into your body. Pay attention to sensations, hips, quads, core, shoulders, elbows. Back up, arms rise, high crescent. Arms go down, standing splits, right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, 10 toes on the mat. And then you have options again, crow, chair, or handstand. Wherever you want to take this. You have 2, 3-ish breath cycles. Whenever you're ready, float it through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Whew. Hey, actually do me a favor, drop down to your knees and find a child's pose. Long through the arms. We can just start there. That's a good place to start for your yin practice. So sinking the hips heavy onto the heels. Let the chest come through. In between the knees, long through the arms. Perhaps the forehead goes down. Now, child's pose is interesting because generally we go there to rest. And that's all good. But when you happen to stay there for longer than you used to, it just becomes a little something else. So just allow that space to show up. And if I could add actually something to it, you guys. So bring the palms of the hands in towards each other as if you want to clap. And then bend at your elbows and bring the palms of your hand over the head. Keep the fingers active and separate. And then roll the shoulder blades out and the biceps out, lengthen through the triceps. And as you pull the hands over your head in towards your neck, you will feel the lengthening through the back part of your arms. Yep. Take your knees apart again. There you go. Yeah. If you can stay present for your body, for your breath, noticing what is showing up where. Most importantly, I'd say try to pay attention to where are you holding on to things. Where are you tightening in? Because it feels like that makes it easier. But it doesn't. It actually does the opposite. So if you find any place like that, consciously send a breath there and try to release the stiffness, release the tension. And it's so interesting because we don't really know we're doing that until you specifically bring your awareness to those places. So it could be in a variety of places. Could be inner thighs, it could be the knees trying to like hold something, it could be the shoulders, totally the head and neck in some ways, even the jaw. Check in with the face, with the jaw. Maybe the shoulders are just lifting up a little bit more than they would if you release them. So it's you continuously scanning your body and you're softening into gravity. You allow gravity to take you someplace that you wouldn't allow yourself to go. Where the posture starts is not where it ends. You get into a shape and the shape evolves the longer you sit there. Notice what the mind does with the seeming-less stillness of the body. Sometimes the mind has a tendency to urge you to move or fidget or adjust. Can you sit with that and simply soften? If softening can be simple. It can be really difficult actually. You're almost done, hang in there. So notice how when we started in child's pose, maybe you were like, hey, child's pose. And now you're like, hey, can I get out, please? That's yin for you right there. Perfect example. I think they resonated with what I just said. And ideally, because I do feel that discomfort that's coming out of these two, I would ideally leave them there for like another 3 minutes. but I don't have that kind of time, so you're lucky. So slowly let go of the arms. Just release the arms first. Just bring them into nothingness. Just let them drop and soften. And allow sensations to roll back into the triceps, the biceps. So another thing that we do is when we release the hold, we don't really fidget or we don't counter move it. We allow sensation to come in as is, as naturally as it can creep in, and then we take it from there. So slowly chin into the chest, come all the way up, and then cross your feet as you coming up, sit your butt behind your legs and extend your legs forward. Sweet. So, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. We haven't done this one for a while, and I almost always like to do some kind of a forward fold in the in part because it's just so good for you, and we don't spend nearly enough times in any variety of forward folds. So, if this one does not feel appropriate for you, if you prefer one with a leg extended long, you can totally do that. But it does changes the parts that are, being engaged. So we did forward fold yesterday, a regular one, even though it wasn't long anyway. So little lengthening through the waistline, reaching up towards the sky. Maybe you can grab your ankles here, and then as you start going forward, you plug the elbows into your knees if that's accessible. And then start leaning in with the chest, and then face is still lifted. So the elbows are gonna push the knees out wide. You're gonna use the arms for just a couple breaths to pull. So a minimal active stretch first. And again, just kind of tune in, notice what this feels like momentarily. You take another big inhale in, lift up, or maybe pull back off a little bit. And then exhale, release the pull of the arms. I just like to curl my arms forward. And then drop slowly into it. If you have enough of a fold that your full forearm comes down, that's great. If you don't worry about it. Ultimately, releasing the head and neck completely. And again, start noticing right off the bat if you're holding on to anything anywhere. So the first place I would check here would be the shoulders. Perhaps the shoulders are lifting, hunching up a little bit. And if that is happening, just release that. You are literally letting go of engagement. I don't know a better way to describe it. And you can totally move if it is a conscious movement that helps you release, but fidgeting is not a place to go about it, not a way to go about it. And again, notice where you start and where you end, because those are not the same. Notice even if you happen to hold the head up a little bit, can you release the head? And if that feels uncomfortable, can you breathe into that? Or maybe you lift off just a little bit with the upper body so you can drop the head. But then once you do that, then your upper body will naturally sink into the place where it would on its own. Again, can your mind stay with the body sensations? Can it stay with your breath? Can you soften some more? Can you just release into the pull of gravity? It's almost like you're floating in the water, only the gravity is kind of pulling you down towards the earth. But you want to be soft, you want to be fluid, not comfortable necessarily. Yin is a tough practice, my friends. Maybe you were focusing on the head, neck, and shoulders. Check in with your face and check in with your jaw. But don't forget to pour your awareness into your hips, into your inner thighs, and into your knees as well. Notice if there is like even the most subtle pull of the inner thighs, the pull of the hips in towards the core. You may not even know it's happening. Can you look there in your mind's eye? Can you soften? Maybe the glutes are doing a little bit of work. Can you soften into the pull of gravity? And when space shows up, because it will over time, allow your body to approach that space. Allow your body to lean into it. If that means that you crawl your fingertips just slightly out to lean into that extra space that has appeared, please do that. It's one of the things about the props in yin. Like if you prop your forehead on a block in a certain height, then you are not allowing for the head to sink a little deeper, even if it's tiny bit. Props we try to use in order to enhance the posture, not to relieve. That's the difference between restorative and yin. In restorative, you're trying to get super comfy and just fluffy and soft. In yin, you're still doing work. You're getting deeper into the connective tissue, fascia, myofascia, just getting more, and that takes time. It just takes time. And gravity and body weight, right? And again, slowly complete your exhale. And then maybe using your arms to help you slowly crawl back up. And again, as you do, no counter movements. You simply come up into regular seated. You notice what happens across the hips and the knees. Pause there, allowing something to come back into the legs. And then gently helping the knees come in towards each other. Taking the feet apart. Keep the knees bent for me if you would. And then soles of the feet find the mat. Maybe scooching in a little bit. Slowly lower all the way down onto your back. Bring your knees in with you. If you guys want to turn around so your heads are in the shade, that would probably be good. We usually do that here. Alright, so knees into the chest. We're on the back. Oh, the sky. Oh, and simply keeping the knees nice and tight. Arms go wide to a T. Dropping your knees off to the right first. And maybe you are going to need to curl your upper body along with your legs slightly off to the right. Notice how close your knees are into the chest. So the higher your knees are, if you will, the more of a stretch, more of a twist you're going to get through the spine. The lower you lower your legs, the less of a intensity in a twist. If If you need to add a little more, you can always extend the top leg long and maybe even bring your right hand onto your left thigh to kind of pull it in. Notice where the left, which is the top hip, landed. You kind of want to push it down, if you will, away from your left shoulder. But again, ultimately, you're releasing any engagement. So you're allowing the weight of the legs just being pulled down. And allowing the weight in the left shoulder, in the left arm, to keep the upper body in place, connected to earth. Oh, hello, Paturi. The sun has finally emerged and it's warming us up, but it's still really comfortable here today. Again, if you guys want to come practice on the porch with me, please do let me know. I will plug you into the schedule. I live in Tampa Heights. Just in case you're wondering how far you have to drive. Again, stay connected to the shape and to the posture in your mind eye. Continue evaluating where you are in the shape. Just keep up with the shape. Notice how it changes and evolves. And then perhaps where you started, you felt a little more looser, and maybe because you are in a place that's not really comfortable for a longer, something else showed up. So for example, I happen to engage my right quad for whatever reason. And I just tighten it up, and it wasn't like that in the beginning. So I have to consciously go there and release it. So notice if you're doing any of that. It's completely subconscious reaction of your body to being stuck in a shape that you're not used to be in for longer. It's almost as if the right leg, which is the one that's closer to the earth, is fighting the gravity. And it's trying to pull itself up against the other leg instead of leaning in. It's really interesting. If you would complete your exhale, on your next inhale, slowly start bringing your knees back into the center towards the chest. And then drop the feet down. Keep the knees bent. Just pause here for a moment. You can keep your arms wide. Maybe lifting up the hips just to finding a neutral. And then pausing here. Noticing if one side of the rib cage or the back feels a little different. Maybe it doesn't. That's fine too. No right or wrong answers here. And then bringing the knees back in towards the chest. Again, maybe adjusting the upper body. Slightly curl it off to your left side. And then keeping the knees nice and high if you would, dropping the knees off to your left. And again, notice if you feel like not much is happening, maybe you adjust the upper body even a little bit more, or maybe you bring the knees a little closer to the chest if that helps, if that works. And again, you can stay here, extend the top leg out if that helps, if that feels like a place to go. It doesn't really work for me because my hamstrings are a little tight, so it's actually not really helpful. But for some people it is really easy to kind of extend the leg, so go ahead and do that if you have that space. And then immediately again tuning into the body, noticing where you are holding tension. Where are you still engaging? Can you release that? Can you let those specific body parts lean into gravity? Can you soften? Notice where your mind goes. Notice if it's completely gone away from you. If you're off to the future, what needs to happen, if you left your body, left your breath, you just off into thinking, land. Can you come back? Can you dedicate this time to you and the connection, your connection to your body? Building up body awareness, breath awareness. Finish your exhale completely. And then slowly start bringing the knees back in towards the chest. Allow the spine to connect. Maybe readjust the upper body again if you moved it. Drop the feet down. Knees are still bent. Pausing here for a moment. You guys have blocks handy? You do. Here you go, Alex. So if you guys have blocks or books, supported bridge before we move into Shavasana. So exactly where you are, you push into the feet, put the block, whichever height setting, underneath your sacrum, which is the flat part of the back of your butt, below your low back. It's not at the low back, it's right below. And then you kind of settle in and you really truly let the hips sink into the block. There is no engagement through the feet. You're not pushing the hips up. You're releasing The hips into the block, the feet are soft, the legs are soft, everything is soft. Arms are wide open, collarbones, head connected to the mat. Just let the hips feel heavy. If anything, you can extend the legs long. That may not feel good because the low back is getting a little bit of an something going on. But maybe it does feel good, so you just kind of gotta figure it out for yourself. Stay with yourself. Notice where you are. You're almost done. Hang in there. If you'd like to stay a bit longer, feel free to stay. Otherwise, if your legs are extended, slowly drag them back in. The soles of the feet find the mat. You push into the heels, you lift your seat up, take your block away from underneath you, put it aside. And then gently extending the legs long. Adjusting the hips a little bit. Letting the arms kind of find space. Let open through the shoulder blades. Wiggle out the jaw. Soften the face. Take a breath into your body and then slowly release. As you allow the body to tune and connect with the earth, in your mind's eye perhaps, you bring your hands to heart center, showing gratitude to yourselves for showing up on your mat, taking the time to connect with your body, with your breath, with us, energetically. Keeping up with your practice, it is so hard and difficult, especially if you're doing it alone, so feel free to come join us on the porch if you can. Mindfulness into the breath space, into the heart space, and the sacred that unites us all. Thank you guys also very much, as always, to tune in to Little 50/50. Have a great rest of the day. From my heart to yours, from my mat to yours, and from my sunny, hot porch to wherever you are. Namaste. Again, if you have any questions, suggestions, feedback, or requests, please do let me know. And the next time I will see you will be Saturday at 11 for solo.